Being a part of Bedrock Madison Heights, it's just been such an opportunity to watch how faithful God is at all times. When he shows up when we least expect it, and every time he does, it's exactly what the church needs and what his kingdom needs.
The thing that I love the most about the Bedrock community is that they're there for everyone. They know your name, and they care about you, and they'll be there for you, even if you don't tell them that you need them. I was initially pretty hesitant to become a Christian because I felt inadequate and I wasn't good enough. But I learned through both my talks with members of the Bedrock Madison Heights community and with some of my other Christian friends that doesn't matter. The Lord will accept me as I am, and I grow through him. Since coming to faith in Christ, the Lord has really shown me my value, that it doesn't come from what people think of me, it actually comes from what he thinks of me.
The Lord worked in my life to lead me to be a part of the Bedrock Madison Heights church plant, originally just in kind of bringing to mind, and this is something I thought about many times throughout even my time in college, is just wanting to be where the Lord had me. It's something I prayed every year of just wanting to be in the church that he had me at. And every year I prayed that, I felt called to stay where I was. But I think that August, it became clear that the Lord was drawing me to join Bedrock Madison Heights. Something I had prayed about at the initial start of the church plant was wanting to be a part of a church that felt like family. And I think the Lord answered that prayer much more quickly than I expected. The people that I met and connected with were so kind and intentional about wanting to build community, and they did feel like family. And I'm very, very thankful that the Lord answered that prayer.
So God has been working in my life through music. So I got saved when I was 25, and before that, I played guitar, I sang, I'd sing competition stuff across the country and stuff, and it was all about me. And after I got saved, I was like, nope, I don't want, I don't even want to serve in that capacity, because I didn't want to put myself in that temptation. And so, fast forward, almost over a decade, and Bedrock Madison Heights, Matt and Becky both mentioned that, hey, we need a need for guitarists and singers. I went over to Matt's and played, and he's like, yeah, sure, you're playing Sunday. And it's not something I wanted to do. And the way that God changed my heart and my perspective, he's like, yeah, you're right, it's not about you, it is about me. But I made you, and I made you in this way to use that to glorify me. And so that is how God has just really just changed my perspective, my heart, in that what before would have been an idol now is worship unto the Lord. I don't understand that, but it's beautiful.
Sports camp is what brought us to Bedrock Madison Heights. We were at Bedrock in Lynchburg, and they brought up on the screen where the ball fields had been cleaned up, and that we want to pray for 50 kids to come to sports camp. But we began to pray, and a couple of Sundays, went by, and we're continuing to pray. And before September rolls around, we find out that there were 99 kids that came to sports camp, and we were like, wow, that is all God.
Bedrock Madison Heights has impacted our family personally, or specifically with Aria, through doing sports camp in this summer, so about a month or so ago. It started to cause some questioning for her, to really question the gospel, what it meant, what salvation was, which was huge.
The family service we do once a month has impacted our family in multiple ways. Specifically talking about Aria, what ultimately led to Aria making the decision to come to know the Lord was us partaking in communion and we don't allow our kids to partake unless they are a believer. So she was asking questions why she couldn't, and kind of started getting the ball rolling on that. Piggybacking off of what Jason said with sports camp, it kind of already had those questions stirring in her mind. So afterwards, we asked her questions and talked about communion and the purpose of it, and just the picture of communion and getting saved and what it does for us as believers, and that ultimately caused her to come to the Lord.
Being a part of Bedrock Madison Heights has really affirmed that call to want to go in church plant. I feel like it's just confirmation that that's where the Lord is wanting me to go. I did not want to church plant growing up. I didn't want to church plant 3 years ago. Having gone from not wanting to be a part of a church plant at all to really wanting to dive headfirst into that world and living out Matthew 28, the Great Commission with the lost. This has been such a great opportunity to be able to do that real, tangibly, week in and week out.
How was I moved by the sports camp this year? I got to be the water boy. I got to serve people, serving. The most menial task is just taking water, comfort the children, the coaches, the parents, the people participating. If Jesus can wash their feet, I'd tote water.
I want to be the most useful servant for God that I possibly can be. There is no longer I who live, but Christ who lives within me. And I just want to bring him the most glory possible. And so when he asks me to do things, I want to say yes.